Hi guys, welcome back. Bitcoin just flipped a key indicator that is signaling us the next major move for Bitcoin. I will show you exactly what indicator that is and why this indicator could be showing us that risk on is back on the table. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here today. I have to find again the right position that you actually see me here good enough. Let me see if I move this a little bit over here. Yeah, so that is definitely better. So we jump directly into today's charts here. I'm not going to waste any time. I hope that we just get a couple more people faster in than the other days. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube algo. That's not really pushing my videos right now. So that being said, we're gonna hit it off with the DXY. The DXY was over the last couple of days coming down here a little bit, but now it looks like that we're getting a reversal candlestick pattern here, a morning star pattern. If we close today as it is, based on that pattern and the probability of this pattern, we should see continuation here on Monday. To be fair, I don't believe that this is gonna happen for multiple reasons. We're getting closer to the FOMC meeting. There's a lot of economic data coming out before that, and I think that will give us a little bit of turmoil for the dollar over the next 2-3 weeks, and will lead to that we come here a little bit lower again. We are close to the 100 points mark. What we want to see here is before the end of next week that we are trading here below 99. When we're looking at the Bitcoin chart, so here nothing crazy has changed yet on the weekly chart, so I'm not going to go over that. Here on the daily chart, things start to look now really interesting because we have now retested yesterday and today the $92,000 mark, got twice rejected from this. But I see here also a continuation move over the weekend. This can be only be torpedoed if today's candle closes as it is right now, because that would potentially open us up for an evening star pattern, and there's a reversal pattern to the downside, bringing us back to around $90,000, $90,500, something around these numbers. So, but overall, the midterm trend is now clear as day, will lead us, as I mentioned yesterday here, to $103,000 and $102,000 respectively into this golden ratio, and then, in the best case, even higher than that. Also here we are holding the downward sloping support line of this overall bullish pennant. Here the only thing that you want to see is that we are closing today here within this pennant, and also tomorrow that we're going to still are staying here within this over the weekend, and then by Monday get the push in direction of $94,000, $95,000. The RSI is finally kind of uptrending again. The MACD strong buy signal. Also here still no exhaustion to be seen, even though we are putting in a doji candles, and that is also definitely a really good sign here in the mid to long term outlook for higher prices. Also don't need to get over this. Now here on the MDX algo scalp gradients, here you see already the key level that Bitcoin is trying to break, and I can by hand draw here a line at $91,500. This is where we are struggling right now to break over. But once we're managing to get over this level, we will move straight away into this sell cluster here, in this sell order block that goes all the way up to $93,750, $93,800 approximately, and starting from $92,500 more or less. And that will fuel the move once we are getting above this to 96 and above. So, but we definitely need to break here $91,500 to get here into the next level, and from there we're going to push further up in the next one to the upside. When it comes to the scalp gradients itself, so I like actually how they are looking right now, because we're not completely overheated. We are more like in a hot momentum, a consolidation phase, you know, where pressure is building up over a short period of time before you get then the continuation. Yeah, no problem guys, I see the chat. So also here on the reactor indicator, this looks more like a small briefer, as I also mentioned this yesterday. What did I say yesterday? I said expect a small briefer here because of these two dot plots where we usually get a small pullback, and then you get the continuation. And this looks already like that, at least from a from a premature standpoint right now. It is a little premature, to be honest. It looks like that we are going to get this continuation move here. We just opened a new 4-hourly candle, so this will be the most important 4-hourly candle here for today, because that will give us direction if we are now getting expansion continuation, or if we are turning around and breaking here below the 2.618 level at $90,400. So the most important indicator that has flipped here now on the 4-hourly chart, don't want to hold this back from you guys, is the EMA ribbon. The EMA ribbon has finally flipped here back into an uptrend on the 4-hourly chart, and based on that, we should see here price leading back all the way to $93,500. There you see again the confluence from the level that I have drawn and what the auto charting tool did on the previous chart, because that was an auto charting tool. I did this here by myself before I saw that on the auto charting tool. So why did I draw that here? Because here is a lot of sell liquidity in this area. It was prior support, we broke support, just want to make sure that you can actually see that. Then confirmed it as resistance, and that confirms that there is a lot of sell pressure in that area. Therefore, I expect that we will come up here, test this, $93,500, get again a small pullback to current levels where we are struggling to break above, which is $91,500, $600. Then gain momentum from there, push then in direction above that level, go here to like $96,000, get another setback, and then follow this trajectory more or less. I'm gonna leave it here. You know me, guys, I always leave my trajectories. Either I'm right or I'm wrong, but most of the time we are right, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and we're gonna see if this is gonna play out in that fashion here. But yeah, these areas are all big sell liquidity areas right now that will be targeted on the way to the upside, because again, market makers like to go where liquidity is, and liquidity is stacked in all these levels here when we are moving higher. The next trade that you can look at is here, this bullish pennant. I mentioned yesterday that you could have entered a little bit earlier. So if you would have done that, you would have been not wrong. So that was the original entry. He had $91,200. So if you would have entered there, you would be fine, because you're now already a little bit in profit. If you want to be a little bit more on the safer side of things, then wait for $91,500. It's a $300 difference. It doesn't make a huge difference. We're talking about 0.3%. And my target here, based on the bullish pennant, also gonna give you that. There we go. Oh, come back here. So there you see the target here now from the breakout would be a little bit lower. So $96,700 approximately. So the only thing that you want to see here is that this next 30 minutes candle can close above the entry level of $91,533, and you can take this as the entry, enter there, set your stop loss below the pennant just in case that we are turning around over the weekend at $90,500. We're talking here 1% stop loss against a 5.63% profit. Here I would go in like with 20x, to be honest, you know. So either I make 132% on this trade. Is it 100? Sorry, 113%. Yeah, either I make 113% or I lose 22%. But yeah, so that's a trade setup that I'm looking at currently. And also, I don't want to forget to mention here that my trade is still running. I'm gonna show it to you guys. So. And it's of course looking way better than yesterday, because I'm not down 13% anymore. Let me see here. So just for transparency. Okay, it's not insanely much better, but I'm still happy with it. So now I'm down 9.6%. So, but I'm basically $300 away from my entry, you know. So if it goes up $300, I'm break even. So it's not like a crazy move that I need to get here in the money with that trade. So, but anyway, guys, if you're looking for getting some free money, you know the drill. I don't need to explain it to you here every single day. You go to WEEX. That's my preferred exchange of choice right now. On WEEX, you get your $30,000 sign-up bonuses in total. You get $400 just for signing up there, binding your phone, your email address, and downloading the app. And you get another $400 if you deposit $500, plus that you will get access here. Let me move this back. to my free Telegram group, guys. You know, so I sent there 2 trades actually in the last 24 hours. If you want access to that, follow all the steps in the description. If you cannot reach me on Telegram, send me an email to info@amcrypto.us or write me on Twitter, AMCryptoAlex. All these avenues are available to you to get access to this Telegram group. If you cannot use WEEX, guys, there you go to TapBit. You know, some people struggle with WEEX, then just sign up with TapBit. Same thing, you know, same thing. Also, they are up to $20,000 sign-up bonuses, plus you get 10%, 10 or 20% cash back on your initial deposit. Now, liquidation levels. We are sitting currently here just above over-leveraged long liquidity. Oh, I have copied long here wrong, so I'm gonna fix that quickly. Don't know how that happened. So here, we could see a pullback to like, yeah, roughly $90,000 if we're rolling over, getting too much rejection from the current price level. Also something that I'm just seeing here, it's not only that we have that pennant, we have also here a bull flag. Totally ignored that. But I think it's more or less the same target. So because I'm taking the pull from the same place, so it should come out the same. Yeah, so there's not a huge difference. So there's like, what is this? $1,000 difference. So, but I would go with the pennant to be honest, you know. So this here is just a safer way to play it. But yeah, you have a higher entry. Yeah, so there's like a $200 difference overall, you know, between the entry and the price target. $200 difference. So I would definitely rather go with the pennant than with this here. And we just broke above the pennant as we speak. Here, what I want to see on the liquidation levels is first of all a push into $92,700 to take out some liquidity up there, and at the same time that the 50 moving average starts creeping up here a little bit more in a curved fashion to put more pressure on Bitcoin to move here in the direction of the 200 moving average, so that we get here by mid-December a new golden cross. Yeah, late first week December, start second week December. That's where I want to see here that golden cross coming in, because that means that Bitcoin will be trading already at this moment in time above $100,000. So, and that would be nice, right? Thank you so much for that. I read the comments, guys. Don't think that I don't read the comments. But I don't know what's going on with the algorithm. We're only 50 people here. It's insane. It's insane. I don't know where everybody's went. You know, it's like dead here. But I'm still, of course, staying for you guys, but it's insane. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, short liquidity remains the target. Here over the last 24 hours, what has built up gives you a better idea why I think we could slip here really fast for a brief moment to $90,000, because we have here the majority of liquidity that has built up over the last 24 hours. And then you have above us the other side of the medal, why I'm saying we are going to $92,700, because there is the rest of the liquidity that has built up. So market makers always like to play games, so they either push it up first and then push it down, or they push it up down and then they push it to the upside. So here what I think is going to happen, because it's a Friday again, and we always get a false move on a Friday that traps then liquidity over the weekend, and then on Monday it gets released, is that we are actually getting, before the daily close, a move down here, and then a move straight afterwards, before we are actually closing, we are getting the move to the upside. So, and then the liquidity will be trapped up here, you know, that came in late for a long. If you're not longing right now at these levels, they will be coming in late, then price starts to range again, and people cannot get out of their position, really, because it's bouncing up and down in a really narrow range. And they have to wait for Monday to see what the directional move is, unless they get stopped out or want to close at a loss. You know, so that is then usually what they can do, or in the best case, close for a small profit. You know, a really small profit. That's why I'm not a huge fan anymore for a long time to trade on weekends, at least Bitcoin, because it's just ranging. Here you see that. I'm on a different screen, you cannot see that over there. Is this a 15 minutes chart? So I just want to show it before I move on. Here, if I go to a 15 minutes chart, so that you can see a little bit better. Look at this here. This is the trading range that we are in right now, more or less. So I can pull this a little bit down. Yeah, so here, this is the trading range, and we are in this since Thursday in that range. We have not left the range. So this here is reaccumulation before we get continuation to the upside. So the only question is, how long will this drag on? You know, do we need to wait for Sunday, Monday until we leave that range? Or are we getting first, let me actually take this here, a nice deviation above this, come back, take liquidity here around the 50 moving average on the 50 minutes chart, then come back up here, and then your range. So that is basically what I'm expecting here for the weekend. And basically the end of the day today. I can be totally wrong about this, but I think we're gonna get a move here out of that range today to trap everybody that thinks, oh, now over the weekend it's gonna do that, you know, so it's not, and it's rolling over, coming back here, does this, comes back up, bam, here, weekend, tuck, 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 and then by Monday you'll get continuation. So be prepared for something like this, you know. So you need to train your eye to spot things like this, you know, where you understand, okay, there is a trading range that we are in, you know, and it's not a really big one. We're talking about $1,000 trading range, like a 1% range, which is nothing, since Thursday. You know, sometimes the stage gets set before the actual event, and this might be the case, you know, that algos and bots have set already the stage for that range here over the weekend, yesterday instead of today, and then yeah, we're gonna get the result later at some point. Now the USDT dominance is finally moving to the downside. What did I tell you guys? I said when we're coming down into like the 5.91% level, we will be definitely above $90,000. That's what I said a couple of days ago, and closer to $93,000, $94,000. Once we are breaking below this, which will definitely be happening next week, we're coming back into this green area. We should be close to $100,000. Not exactly, it will be more like 96, 98, but once we're breaking below this and going below 5%, that is where we are above $100,000 again, like 101, 102, and then the lower we go, the higher Bitcoin will move, you know. So, and you want that we actually come back down here to like 4.2%, where we were for a really, really, really long time, because that was 160, 120, 123 $1,000 for Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin dominance, here I like the current daily candle, because again, that looks like a reversal pattern forming here, and we know by tomorrow, because we are putting in a shooting star candle. That's what it's called. Sorry, I had to look for the word. So shooting star, that's what I'm looking for. So a shooting star, and with the previous candle and potentially the next candle being in red to the downside, again, evening star pattern, and that means we are going lower. But yeah, most likely that will be not before next week, you know. So I expect by Monday that we're going to get here a nice red candle, or on Tuesday, that will then convincingly break below 59% and get us the continuation move here below that level that we were waiting for such a long time now. Total free market cap, also here still above the downward sloping trend line. Same thing again, I don't want to see anything else than holding this trend line, and we're staying above this. It can be red, green, blue, black, I don't care, you know, what color it has. I just want that it stays above this trend line, because that will be our platform for a takeoff in the next coming days here into higher levels. And I have a funny feeling that there will be a push in altcoins over the weekend. So that's why I have on the thumbnail like risk on. You know, I'm gonna show you some altcoins that I believe gonna run here in a second. If we're not getting to, yeah, no, it should be fine. So, but if you want to learn how I'm actually reading the market, guys, you know, so there is still some time left to sign up on the wait list for my new mentorship program. I want to remind you here, it's not for free, and that I only work with a limited amount of people. If you go back to my past videos that I did in like ever where I promoted this, I do this roughly only every 6 to 8 months, take a close circle of people, make them profitable, and then a couple months later I do a new batch. So this is the new batch, guys. So if you want to take trading serious and want to take the next big step here, this is your chance for the next 6 to 8 months, and you want to take advantage of that, because the next 6 to 8 months will be the most profitable of the whole cycle. So if you are not set up in the right way, you might miss it and make a lot of mistakes, especially if this is your first cycle. So do it straight away the right way. Don't pay all the learning fees to the market. pay a one-time fee and you're good forever, you know. So, and there is a link for that in the description on the top of the description field, where you can go to the waitlist. We are opening on Monday. On Monday, if you get picked by my team, again, we are sorting people out. If you get picked by my team, we're gonna reach out Monday, Tuesday to you. So yeah, try and take your chance. On Ethereum, Ethereum is climbing higher and higher. We got pretty close here already to our take profit. Here, what I would recommend you guys, two things. Watch this downward sloping trend line that we basically just broke on the 4-hourly chart. If we can stay above this line, if we lose here this level, this one here, this is currently a short-term support level. Just want to get this right. 2000, yeah, it's basically the same as I said yesterday. It's just $5 higher. $2,983 should be still your stop loss on this trade overall. So if it kicks you out, it kicks you out. You know, if it holds this downward sloping trend line of a bull flag pattern that I just also spotted here and broke above that. So if we can manage to hold this and we get continuation, then by Sunday we should hit our take profit target here, maybe faster, and potentially even go a little bit higher. So, but I would not risk it. You know, we're talking here about another 2%, roughly, yeah, 1.8% that you can squeeze more out of that trade. It's not worth it. You know, it's not worth it because you made overall 15%. So don't get too greedy. Let the trade play out. Take the profit. When it goes higher a little bit, it goes higher. You know, doesn't matter. I have already mapped out in my mind the next trade once that is happening, and I just gonna give you then the next one. You know, so don't get too greedy and try to squeeze out here another 1.8% that we potentially getting, and it's not guaranteed. You know, but I can guarantee you more or less from what I'm seeing here that we are reaching $3,155 in the next 4 days, over the next 4 days for sure. Solana moved here earlier into our entry level, so I hope you got in here because look, stochastic flatlining on the bottom. Oh, I need to put this up that you can better see this. So here, buy signal, MACD turning around, RSI going up slightly here, reversal pattern in the candlestick formation, trying to break here back above $141.50. Once we are breaking above this, you get here a nice big continuation candle. Also here, you can technically enter already right now. If not, then you wait for a break of this downward sloping trend line. You would be not too late to enter at that moment. And then you trade the continuation here to $156. That is where I'm gonna take the first time a bigger chunk profit out of that trade. Yeah, but overall it looks really, really good. Then AVAX broke already out of that falling wedge pattern here. That was on the daily chart, I think, when I drew this. Yeah. So, and here I see a small pullback before we get the continuation. So we're gonna pull back here to the downward sloping trend line that will act now as support. Maybe 2-3% is where we're gonna pull back. Yeah, there's also support level here at $14.50, and then we're gonna move to $17. So if you missed here this trade that was given here at $13.86, so, and you're then up now already over, yeah, roughly 10%, almost. Okay, maybe 8. It's like something like this. Yeah, 8.5. I was close. So 8% in the last 2 days on this trade plus leverage. Just wait, you know. So wait. Either we are coming back to $14.50 and you get a chance to enter from there if you missed the entry down here, or you need to wait for a convincing break above $15.20 roughly. Is this what I would, yeah, $15.20, $29, something like that, on a 1 hourly chart. So that's what I would be looking at. So when you look at this here, AVAX is just now a stable coin. You know, look at this, how this is chopping here with all these wicks. So okay, we had here a deviation to the upside, deviation to the downside, but overall we are just chopping around, you know. But I see here a bearish divergence, which is not good. Yeah, not good. Did this? No, this wick actually led to that this played out already. So then overall, it looks also like continuation, but you need to wait another % that we go up here before I would enter this. I would not enter this before that. So let me go to the next coins here. Then, so Hype, really strong over the last couple of days. Here, the only problem that I have with this is that we are forming a rising wedge pattern. I don't believe that this is going to break down, to be honest, because that is something that Hype, I saw this now multiple times, Hype likes to do that. Hype likes to create rising wedge patterns and then breaks out of them. Yeah, something like this, breaks out of them, comes back, retests the upward sloping trend line, bounces, and then continues to go higher. So I've seen this many, many times now with Hype. So here, if you want to get into a trade, you need to wait for a break of $36. And then here, 10%, $39.81 is a strong resistance level, guys. Really, really strong resistance level with a stop loss here at 30, let me see here, there, $34.86. So why is $39.82 such a strong resistance level? Because we have in the past so many times gotten all the big moves from there. See here. So when you look at this here, wick, bam, we went to $50 from there. Here also reclaim, here, bam, again $50. So now when we break this on the way, so that's why I'm saying I take profit there on this trade here, because if we're most likely we're gonna get rejected when we come up there initially, and then on the pullback, that is where I'm gonna re-enter. Pullback will be going here to $37.58 more or less, and then it goes up, then it goes back to $50. So if you want to trade this as a swing trade, you can do this and just write this out. But I'm right now in the fast lane of making fast money, you know, and compounding that, putting it back into the trade, and then enter a new trade, and then trade the compounded profits with a bigger position size into higher targets. Yeah, you do what you do, but this is what I'm doing currently. So we are here now 27 minutes, guys. It's again long enough. I have also to be somewhere, seeing some friends now. But thank you so much for tuning in, for everybody that was here. Don't forget, if you want to learn from me, there is a link in the top of the description. And otherwise, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.